everybody. This is Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective. This is episode number 11, so I'm really excited. Going on almost 3 full months of doing this. So if you're interested in seeing the podcast and everything, check it out on YouTube. I always like to mention that I couldn't do this without my support staff, which is Jennifer Smitis, and Caitlin Kornick, Devon, Rosalie Dean, and Wendy Santana. I can't forget Wendy, and the assistants and processors that we have here at the offices. So if you're looking for title, we'd love to help you out. At the same time, if you are a real estate agent and you are in the Fort Bend County area, or you're a vendor that we might want to work with in the Fort Bend County area, and you see this and you want to be on the podcast, send me an email, give me a call. I'll be happy to put you on the calendar. With that said, episode 11, I got 2 great, exciting guests today. The first one, a lot of you might recognize. He is not the myth, but he is the man, Larry Warren from Stewart Title. Say hi, Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Thanks,
Kevin.
Larry's not the only one that's going to be watching this. So I wanted to have, this is Larry Warren. He is the, what's your title?
Senior Division President.
Senior Division President for Texas.
A big part of Texas.
Big part of Texas. So Larry is my boss's boss's boss. So
Wrong.
If you start wrong. Correct me on my own podcast?
I'm sorry. I work for Kevin.
But Larry's a great guy. I love him a lot. I've been here for about 1.5 years, and you've really kind of made me feel comfortable in my job. Most bosses don't do that. Jennifer Smitis is another one that makes me feel real comfortable, but upper management, you're solid. You really are.
Appreciate that.
So why don't you tell everybody what you do for Stewart Title? You've been around for a while, right?
Yeah, I started with Stewart in 1982. I'm like the last standing dinosaur. Still get to have periodic lunches with Stuart Morris Sr. He's 103. They're not involved with the company any longer, but I start on the east side of Texas, go all the way across to El Paso and everything south. So all the greater Houston area. We call it the Southwest Texas Division. Mm-hmm. So within that, I've got over 50-something branches. I've got 7 different AFBAs, and we've got 7 different divisions, which a division is like Houston is a division, and then I've got 6 other city divisions.
What's an AFBA?
AFBA is what we call an affiliated business arrangement. So we have some affiliated business arrangements that we own part of the company and the customer owns part of the company, and all of the ones that we're currently in right now are with other builders, volume builders, especially in the Houston area. Most of them are national builders that we have a relationship with. Mm-hmm. We have a couple of them in some of the smaller cities, which are the regional builders that are very, very strong in El Paso and Victoria.
So are those the same entities that if an agent that works with me and says, by the way, I've got a property in El Campo or some city that I don't have a Stewart Title office in, but you could go to our website and see affiliates that are in that area that work with us. Is that the same type of thing?
Not really. The affiliated business, so if you buy, let's say you buy a home that we're in business with, and let's just pick Weekly. We have a company.
You mean a builder? Okay,
correct, a builder. Now, if you have agents that have properties throughout Texas and they happen to be involved with that, absolutely we can help them. You're the great point of contact. You find out where that's at. More than likely, we have a direct operation that I work for. Mm-hmm. If not, if it's a smaller town, which we kind of own South and West Texas, Stewart does, we have agents. An agent is a privately owned company that has a relationship with an underwriter, and of course Stewart being one of the big 4 directs.
Are those the entities that you see on the website when you go and look up for a?
You can, yes.
That's what
you'll see. Okay. Direct and agents, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Because I'll see Stewart Title, and then there'll be 8 other title companies. I'm like, I didn't know that was us. And
exactly.
It's not really us, but we have a relationship with them.
Correct.
Okay.
We do their underwriting.
Awesome. So what are some of the really cool things that is going on with Stewart Title right now from your vantage point?
From my vantage point, over the last 3 years since Fred Eppinger, our CEO, came on board, we had issues with hostile takeovers and everything, and the Morses not being involved. Fred Eppinger came in, said he's going to assess the company in 100 days and put us on this path. And everything that he has said has come true, and he's on this path. We have fantastic leadership now. The guy that runs direct operations, his name is Ryan Swed. I'm glad that he is now running all of direct operations. He's an incredible guy, great knowledge. My direct report that I report to is a guy named Rob Sherman. Rob Sherman is over Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado.
Was he in this office with you?
Yes,
Make the rounds about?
just not long ago.
Yeah,
correct.
Okay.
Fantastic guy, an absolutely fantastic guy. So what I like now is the leadership that we have, and we're behind a little bit with some of the other big underwriters, but we are gaining ground quickly. As Fred says, we're a 130-year-old startup.
Right.
You know.
Well, yeah, and by the way, we're 130 years old this year.
Correct.
October.
Yes.
And am I correct in saying the first Stewart Title office that opened up in Galveston is still there in the same building?
I was in it last week.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
So I guess yes.
Yes.
Nice.
222 Kempner. It's a red brick building. If you're ever there, if we're open and it's not the end of the month, I highly urge you to go in and ask to see if you could take the tour. I actually had managers from all over my area in Texas. We had a managers retreat in January. It's where I get all of my group together, and we got to take a tour. And a lot of them knew our roots and everything. However, once you go up and you look at the Judge Stewart room, it's got documents from the Republic of Texas, Sam Houston's signatures. It's actually got the first owner's title policy ever issued in the state of Texas.
Not by Stewart.
By Stewart.
By Stewart?
By Stewart.
In the state of Texas.
In the state of Texas.
That I'd like to
and
see.
The buyer didn't know what it was and canceled it.
Oh my goodness.
But it's in there. And like we perform in our fiduciary capacity to handle real estate transactions. Everything comes to our desk. Really the essence of our origination was for liens, for mortgages. They wanted to make sure they had good property, good title, and a valid lien on that. And we've kind of slowly gone over to where we, of course, we issue owner's policies.
Right.
But the first owner's policy is there. If you're ever there, I highly recommend you go up there. It's a great tour.
It's funny you mentioned it. In my previous life, I actually taught a CE class in that office.
Oh, in the vault with the big safe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's our training room.
Yeah, I was when I went in, I'm like, do I get to leave? So it was.
That's a big door.
It's a huge door, but it's been a very long time since I've been in there. So
we just brought in a new gentleman, came over and joined us. His name's Max Van Natter. He's now the new division president of Stewart, and I'm working directly with him. And I had him in Galveston when we took him up. Did the tour, put the white gloves on, pulled out all the old books. He saw stuff. I mean, it's really cool when you're with another title guy and they see what that is, and it's the essence of our origination. I mean, old geographic index cards, old abstracts. And as he's walking through it, he was like, oh, my gosh, yeah, it's like this is Mecca for us, Anyway.
that's where it all started.
All started.
So over the years, you've seen everything. Seen people come and go, seen the market go up and down. What's your opinion right now of the market the way it is right now?
So it's kind of hard to answer that question just in general. No, the numbers aren't as good as 18 and 19, and that's kind of where we look. If we could have another 18 and 19. I've been doing this since 1982. I've never seen what we've done since 2020 all the way up until about midway third quarter of last year. We've never operated at that level for that long, and under extremely difficult work conditions with the COVID protocols and everything when it first started until where we're at today. If you go to Houston, like I just sold my house. I was in my house for 30 years, just built a new one, just closed, as a matter of fact, last Wednesday. I sold my house 3 times in 6 days. The average market in my little pocket in the Katy area is 16 days, and I beat that. You can go up to 290, and there's areas that we maybe not as robust. I can go to Eagle Pass, Texas, and we're still at real high levels. Laredo, still at high levels. Victoria, unbelievable right now. Corpus has slowed down a little bit. Harlingen is really doing well. Brownsville slowed down a little bit. That has to do a lot with SpaceX and where people are wanting to live there. So we aren't, I would say, at good levels if you look at us consolidated. But if you look at pocket areas, we're still doing very well.
But you did make the announcement at the last BDO meeting, despite everything you just said. Who's number one in market share? He's trying to figure out what it was he said.
I say a lot of things.
That may or may not.
One thing I always add, Dalton, I don't lie because I don't like trying to remember what I said.
Exactly.
So when you talk the truth, it's easy. So for the first time since the COVID with all the refinances, Stewart Title Houston division has now taken over number one overall. The good news is Stewart Title Houston division has been in number one place in residential resale, in commercial, and either first or very close second in new homes construction. We don't have a lender services like some of the other major underwriters do. Not trying to slight any of our lenders. We have relationships with lenders and we do their business. We didn't go after some of the big accounts like some of the other ones, like Fatco did. So anyway, yes, we got back overall. I will still take my balance sheet with our only title company double digit, thanks to people like Kevin throughout the Houston area that represent our sales force with our residential resale. That's our bread and butter. That's who we took to the dance. That's who I want to take home after the dance, and that's that resale.
Yeah, it's when you mentioned that at the last meeting, I was. Because things are different. I mean, I've only been here for, well, not only, but I've been here for a year and a half. And the difference between last year, third quarter, before that, and now is drastically different.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's drastically different. And the number of title companies that have popped up everywhere, it's amazing. They're all over the place.
I'd love to talk about some of these new title companies and everything, but we'll keep it civil.
We'll keep it clean.
We'll keep it clean. Although I've picked up some really good closers that were at some of these smaller title companies that aren't making it because of the times.
Yeah.
We have a model. We live that model. We're strong. We're solid. That's why I've survived so well. We've run off all the underwriters in South and West Texas. I took that area over in 1998, did some acquisitions, and we have no major underwriter in any of the cities that I currently work with. They're either sold, we bought some of them, they closed, or sold to their current local management. So we're real proud of that. And we're real strong in a lot of those smaller markets because we are a major underwriter. We offer a lot. And when times get tough like this is when we typically grow. We're growing right now in Houston with some of that's gone on as well. But we had a great meeting a few weeks ago. We called all of our presidents in from around the United States. And it was Ryan Swed's first meeting as direct operations, probably one of the best meetings I've attended in 2 decades. We can look at numbers till the cows come home. However, when you look at certain numbers, and you look at seasonal, the way our market works, and you look at all the down, and I've been through a lot of down times.
Well, of course you have. You've been around for a long time.
But when you have a CEO that says at the first quarter earnings, getting ready for the first quarter, and tells Wall Street, we might not make money in the first quarter, but we're backing our people, and we're not going to have layoffs, and we haven't.
Nope.
We were trying to control our spending, do certain things that we can get through this, because as Ryan put it a few weeks ago, the market's going to come back. It always does. Right now with interest rates where they're at, when I started in 1982, interest rates were 18%.
Yeah. When I bought my
we got
house,
spoiled below 3, right?
Yeah. When I bought my house in 2004, I was at 12.
Yeah.
So
So it's going to come back. And the good news is we've seen some incredible appreciation that we're not used to in the Texas market. We're not California and Florida where it got crazy and then it busted. We won't see that. We shouldn't see that because our jobs are still really, really good. But due to the sales prices going up, we don't even have to get the same numbers in 18 and 19, and we're going to be very, very, very solid. You know,
Awesome.
but we're profitable now.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the name of the game. So, I could sit here and actually talk to you all day, but you don't have that kind of time, and this podcast is not that long. So we'll have you back. If somebody was to ask you, seeing that you're from the up top looking down, why should I use Stewart Title versus our competition? What would you tell them?
First off, our people. I'm so blessed to work for 468 people around the great state of Texas. We have, in my opinion, the best. Stewart is, if you go to any of the ratings, Stewart is one of the top-rated underwriters. Their paper's really, really good. We have great tools on the closing side. We're very, very strong. But I go back to the family that I work for. We have really, really good people.
Yeah, I've been in this business for 9 years. I just turned 54. I've had a couple of other jobs or places I've worked. This is and maybe it took me 54 years to get here, but this is the only company that I've ever worked for that I was comfortable every day when I come in. I don't really feel any stress. I'm not worried about what Larry or Jennifer or anybody else is doing or thinking, it's just like you said, it's like a family. It's
Yep.
You just come to work, you do your job, and you go home. And while you're at work, you help people that need help, and you do the best you can do.
Oh, we have the best job in the world. I mean, it's the American dream. And I'm glad to hear you say that because that's my job. My job is to stay out of everybody's way, but support them and make sure that they have everything that they can. And that's why you look at our tenure and experience and the longevity. It's really, really incredible at Stewart Title.
Yeah.
And that goes down to Brownsville. It goes all the way out to Beaumont, all the way to El Paso.
Amarillo?
I don't handle Amarillo, but yes, Bart and them, they've been around for a long time as well.
Awesome.
I know them all because of the old days.
So if anybody wanted to get a hold of Larry Warren for anything about Stewart Title or Title in general, how would they get a hold of you?
Larry.warren@stewart.com. Phone number 713-625-8600.
Awesome. Larry Warren, guys. He's the man. We'll be right back with the second guest of today's podcast. Right back.